Hey Charger History! Welcome back from break and welcome to your new unit, Unit 4. Today's essential question is, where is the ancient Indus Valley? Please pause your video, skip one line in your notebook, and copy the essential question. Please draw your vertical line for your notes and draw these two boxes. Remember that this box is for your educated score at the end of your video. Today's the beginning of Unit 4, which is about India and the Indus Valley. Here's a picture of an old city in the Indus Valley. And to get to the Indus Valley, we're traveling from Northern Africa, which is where Egypt is, all the way east to the Indian subcontinent, which is in the southern part of Asia. We're back to the continent, the same continent where Mesopotamia was. Mesopotamia is like where my arrow is right now. We just are moving east. The Indus Valley was home to one of the oldest civilizations in the world, which began in about 3,300 BCE, or 3,300 years before Jesus was born. By 2,000 years later, in 1300 BC, this is still 1,300 years before Jesus was even born, the cities were already abandoned. Nobody lived there anymore, and we don't even really know why. This is a picture of an old ruin from one of the old cities of the Indus Valley. The Indus Valley cities are still some of the oldest ruins that we can see today from the oldest cities in the world. So we know that these cities didn't last past 2,000 years, but why did they start in the Indus Valley? What made this a great place for a city to begin? Well, I want you to be the archaeologist here. What do you see on this map that would have been important for the people who lived here? I want you to draw these boxes in your notes, please. Please pause your video and copy Indus Valley, the three boxes that you see, good for agriculture, good for protection, and good for travel. Pause and copy. Go. Okay, if you're hearing this, you should be done copying. Your notebook should look just like mine. Now use this map and brainstorm. First, pause and write down the features that you see here that would have been best for agriculture. Write that in your first box. Pause. All right, what did you write in your box? What would have been good for agriculture? Okay, now please pause and write down the features that you think would have been good for protection. Pause. Okay, what features did you write down would have been good for protection? Yeah, I agree. The mountains and the highlands would have been excellent for protection because no one could cross these easily to get to the people of the Indus Valley. It would have been very hard to cross from China through the Himalayas to reach these people. Also, the Thar Desert protected them from the other side. Lastly, I want you to write down what you think would have been best for travel. Pause. All right, what did you write down would have been best for travel? If you said the Indus River, I agree with you. And if you said the Arabian Sea, I agree with you. The Indus Valley people were big on sea trade and traveling by boat. Let's start with the geographical feature that we always know is the most important to human settlement, the river. The Indus River is right here, and it was the feature that made the civilization able to happen. It was crucial for farming. The Indus is the longest river in the country called Pakistan, which you see here is west of India. Pakistan is a country today. Back then, in ancient times, they did not call this area Pakistan, but we do call it that now. You might hear about Pakistan on the news. You might also hear about Afghanistan on the news, which is right here. These countries are considered to be part of the Middle East, just like Mesopotamia was. So the Indus River flowed from the Himalayan mountains, which were the border between China and India, and the Indus River flowed 2,000 miles all the way to the Arabian Sea. The reason why it started in the mountains is the same reason why the Tigris and Euphrates started in the mountains in Mesopotamia, because on the top of the mountains were snow, and during warm seasons, the snow melted, causing the river to fill and then flow all the way to the sea. 2,000 miles, a really long river, but remember, it's only half the distance of the Nile. The Indus people needed river water for irrigation of their crops. This is a picture of someone still using the Indus River today for that purpose. People still today wash their clothes and bathe themselves in the Indus River. And people still also, just like they did back then in ancient times, they used the water from the river for religious ceremonies. It was believed that the gods liked it when you cleaned yourself and purified yourself for them. There were more than 1,400 towns and cities along the Indus River. The biggest cities were called Mohenjo-Daro and Harappa. Each of these cities had 80,000 people or more. These cities had great protection from invaders, and I bet looking at the map you can guess why. The highlands to the northwest and the Himalayan mountains to the northeast were great protection from unwanted visitors. Few people tried to enter or leave. Even if you lived here and you wanted to go to China, it was still really hard. Some people did it, but it did not happen very much. Instead, more people traveled by sea. This is a picture of a reed boat, which was what was used to cross the Arabian Sea and get to other continents. Experiments done by historians today found out that reed boats are good at crossing oceans. It may not look like it, but these boats are really strong and can cross over oceans to get to other civilizations. Boats like these are still used today in India, Pakistan, and in the Arabian Gulf. So anyone traveling in or out of the Indus Valley, like these merchants, were much more likely to go by sea than by land. For example, Mesopotamians were actually big trading partners with the people of the Indus Valley. This is a picture of Indus trading merchants entering into the Mesopotamian city of Babylon. As you can see from this map, the people from the Indus Valley must have used water routes to get there. So here's in the blue circle, the Indus Valley. The red line shows the trade routes going through the Arabian Sea and the Persian Gulf, all the way up to the Tigris and Euphrates. And then for Mesopotamian traders in the orange circle, they went just the opposite way, back down the Persian Gulf, through the Arabian Sea, and to the Indus River. The Indus Valley civilization started at the river in the yellow area, but they could not expand much further to the southeast. What do you see here that would have stopped them from expanding their civilization? That's right, the Thar Desert was inhospitable, it was dry, it was barren, it was bad for farming. But the good thing about it was that it did provide protection and defense from invaders, leaving the Indus River Valley enclosed or protected on nearly all sides, protected by the desert, the highlands, the mountains, and even protected from sea for people who, couldn't travel well or didn't have boats. They couldn't invade by the sea either. The only way that the Arabian Sea was good for travelers was if they knew the right technology for their boats. Now, you're going to go back to your playlist to play a game called Dr. Indus. You'll find the link in your playlist, and it will help you go even deeper into these physical features. Good luck.